Hey everyone, Bob Umar here. What is the big deal about experts, influencers, and leaders? I just did a video yesterday about the hullabaloo around calling someone an influencer and the different types. And what I thought I'd do today is dive deeper into understanding what this means. So, there's leadership, there are influencers, there are experts, and then there's the whole idea of personal branding. And I love personal branding, and that's why I want to talk about this. And several people in my network have been talking about this at great length, which is making it a very hot topic. So let's dive in. First off, there are three types of influencers that we see. Number one are the people who have the authority or have the designation. So that means, for example, someone with a blue tick mark on LinkedIn as an influencer, or a blue tick mark on Twitter or even Facebook or Instagram. Also, someone who has a position, like I'm the president of this company, I'm the vice president of marketing, I'm the director of sales. And from that, there's certain authority and certain designations with what kind of influence they might have. The second piece are people who are self-proclaimed influencers. So I'm an influencer in sales, I'm an influencer in ice cream management, I am the best there is at photography, and they brand themselves as such. And the third type is people who have a personal brand or a perception or a reputation as an expert or an influencer in a certain field. So, for example, I look to Brené Brown and I think, okay, she is an expert in vulnerability, and I love that about her. Gary Vaynerchuk is an expert in entrepreneurship and hustle, and these are people that I looked up to, and I personally think of them in those terms. And what I want to do is I want to talk about the pros and cons and challenges of each of the three types, but mostly the most important thing to remember is that everyone is serving a need. They have their own audiences, they have their own brands, they have their own kind of ways of doing things, and we shouldn't really get ourselves up in a tizzy about how they do it. Now, you certainly can get into, if you want, if people are being fake or if they're saying things that they shouldn't be saying, but to what end and to how much energy do you want to spend doing that? So it's something to think about. But first off, before I dive into the three different things, let's talk about personal branding. Your personal brand is essentially what you deliver to people. What's your promise? What people expect from you? It's your integrity, your reputation, their perception. It's how they perceive you. So if people perceive me as to be a funny guy, then sure, I might be a funny guy. If they perceive me to be someone who's late all the time, then maybe I am late all the time. But your personal brand is actually generally defined by your audience and your network. And people who don't manage their personal brands are defined by those people. People who do a good job of managing their personal brands can find a balance between how they present themselves, how they act, how they market themselves, what copy text they use, combined with what people out there think of them. And if we go by that definition, then we can dive into the three different types. So the first one is the designated one. So, if you are a tick-marked LinkedIn influencer or a tick-marked Facebook celebrity, it just means that you've been designated that. But one of the challenges with that is that there are influencers who have the tick mark, have the designation, but actually aren't that engaging. And that's okay, that's their right. Bill Gates probably is noted as a LinkedIn influencer, yet he probably doesn't post things on his own on LinkedIn, and that's fine. Meanwhile, there's other people like Oleg and Bridget Hyacinth who have like 600,000 followers, and they are also noted as influencers and experts in their field, but they also don't have the tagline. They don't have that official designation. So one of the challenges if you're going to be a tick mark designated influencer is, how are you engaging that way? Does it matter? Not really. You can choose how you want to engage or not engage. It's entirely up to you. And the other thing that happens is, like a president or vice president of sales, how they behave. If I'm the vice president of sales, but I do a poor job of sales, then despite my designation, I'm actually not doing a good job with my personal brand of being a vice president of sales or president of some tech company or finance company or whatnot. So designation and authority is great, but ultimately it comes down to how you serve, how you act, how you behave, how you deliver value for the people that matter to you. Number two, the self-proclaimed ones. And this is the one where people get really upset about. Someone proclaims they're the number one expert in sales, the number one expert in shoemaking, or the number one expert in, project X or topic A or B. Ultimately, they will be branded by how they behave and how they engage and what kind of content they do and how they present themselves. I actually have no problem with you saying, I'm an expert in sales. I'm an expert in, let's say, math. I'm an expert in Facebook ads. Because ultimately, you have to put up or shut up. If you're going to designate yourself that way, then you have to darn well make sure that you deliver that content, you deliver the value, and you own up to what you're positioning yourself as. And a lot of people also get upset if people proclaim themselves a certain way, but ultimately I think it's fine. Now, if you have a problem with it, by all means you can call it out. I think it's better to send a personal message, but even a public message, calling it out, you can. But when you do that, be aware that then people may call you out. And if there's one complaint I do have about self-proclaimed experts and stuff, is the ones who are way out of whack. And I've met some posers, I've met those people who've done that, but I also know the people who stand by their word and I believe everything they say. And when they tell me they're an expert in video or an expert in marketing, and they actually put up and they deliver, and I love that about them. But what I think the big challenge is a lot of people aren't willing to call out the ones who are doing it wrong or doing it in a way that's inauthentic or have created a brand for themselves that actually doesn't align with what they're saying they are. I'm not saying you should do it, and for me, I'm a big believer in, I'm going to continue to focus on my audience and my tribe, which is different than your tribe and your audience, and I'm going to deliver as much value as I can. And then the third type is the personal branded one. Now, these ones are the ones who out there are engaging, they're commenting, they're sharing their information, they're sharing value, they're doing videos, and they're building a brand about what they're an expert in or what they influence in or what kind of leader they are. And that to me is the best one because it's based on an authentic belief of your audience, your tribe. And if I can build a brand where people are saying that, Bobby, you're very good at networking, or you're very good at humor in your talks, or you're very good at keynotes, that's great. And that actually gives me enough confidence to say that even in my marketing copy, that, on my LinkedIn profile, yes, I am a professional speaker, I'm a world-class speaker, I'm really good at GMAT, I'm really good at networking, and I don't mind saying those things. So there are things that I will proclaim about myself, but usually it's based on the feedback that I get from my audience. Now, other people, don't do that. They just have a brand that's there, and they don't even talk about about their certain aspects, and they just build a brand because, if Billy's always late, then his brand is there's late Billy. If Sally's giving fantastic advice every single time, then there is fantastic advice Sally, even if she doesn't put that in her profile. And the challenge for a lot of people with the personal brand piece is that they think that it's based on just what they say about themselves, when really your brand actually is based on also what people say about you. And I always say that, a personal brand is just like Jeff Bezos says, is what people say when you're not in the room. It's also what people say when you enter a room or enter a conversation. Oh, there goes Jimmy again with such and such. And so we have to be mindful of that brand and mindful of how we're seen. So you want to call yourself an expert, then put up and show up and deliver. If you want to call yourself an influencer, then show and demonstrate where you are an influencer. But I have no problem with that. Why do people have such a problem with that? Is it taking away the integrity of the system? Is it something about us? Does it make us feel bad? Regardless, if someone posts that they're an influencer or an expert, I'm not going to get in a tizzy about it unless they start saying or doing things in a way that starts to become divisive or maybe puts other people down. Then at that point, maybe someone or myself might want to call it out. So you all are leaders. I totally believe everyone has the ability to lead, evolve, learn, and grow. Be humble, deliver tremendous value, keep sharing stuff, build communities. That's what you can do. And some of you are experts in certain things, and some of you are influencers in certain things. And all of you have a personal brand. So take the time to know what that personal brand is. Be open to feedback and criticism, and learn, evolve, grow as a person. If you do that, and you continue to deliver that value, that's the most important thing. So I hope you find this helpful. This is something that, and if you have any questions, comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I think it's a great topic, and it's going to evolve. But ultimately, we all have different brands. We all have different opinions, but I want to hear from you as well. All right? Thanks so much, and look forward to my daily videos. I'll do some more starting tomorrow. Thanks.